Sound is the element that is in between these elements, and I believe that any sound used in a proper manner can be therapeutic.
The idea of toning things down,
Yes.
that was really classy because the way you explained the beats.
Yes.
I had a app to learn the beats,
To learn the
thala as such.
Okay.
Right? But you to teach that concept of beats for 200 people is in starting from toning down the technicalities. That is something I would be interested to know. How do you do that? Or is there a forceful ideology that you tell that, look, there is?
It is. I mean, I want to address the concept of teaching first. How would you teach people? I never like to be controlled or taught or to be said to do certain things the way they are supposed to be done. So it's very simple, but you go back to everybody's common memory. Everybody knows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they would have not realized that rhythm exists within their life, everyday life, the way they speak Ayurveda. What is your name? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's in the rhythm. You would not ask, what is your name? That's simply absurd because you're not used to it. So I treasure on those things, that I make them, I help them label the things they are very already aware of, but they do not know what that is. That is why I called Shruti auntie, because auntie is familiar, Shruti is not. So when they realize that everything comes from imitating, I also mentioned this in the previous session, that's how a human learns. A human learns through imitation, mimicry, just repeating whatever they hear. They hear from this sense, they deliver it from this. So that's how we learn language as well. How do you know the word Sagar exists? It's just a bunch of sounds. How could it be my name? So that's how I started making sense of everything. It need not be taught. There are some things that you don't have to teach. They've already learned it. You just have to make them realize it and help them label it according to the musical terms. And even the labels are just sounds. Ultimately, ta, la is just a combination of two letters, ta and la. So it doesn't have to be named and it doesn't have to be learnt. Some things have to be just realized. And when you realize that, people feel that sense of accomplishment. So they feel like, oh, I learned it. Oh, now I know that it is
And
called
you can see
thala.
that.
I can see that
on the stage.
Definitely. That's what keeps me going ahead. If I fail to make them realize that this is what it is, there's no next step. If they do not understand Tala or Shruti, I cannot make them feel proud of themselves.
There was a time where you actually picked up all the male members.
Yeah.
And then you told male members, you are gonna sing this note. Right?
Yes.
I'm a bad singer. I try my best. Even the space that I looked around, you had a lot of female fans.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm the only male. My father had given up by that time. After the first song.
Okay.
He's like, oh, very odd for me. I prescribed him to come for other sessions so that he can come out of this.
Yes.
And I was supposed to sing that.
And you did not?
I did.
Okay.
But when I started a bit slow,
Okay.
the neighbor of mine was looking at us like, you are not singing, right? And I was like, okay, I will sing, right? I'll sing. I mean, sorry. Yeah. It was the whole point of people take up the responsibility to participate.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. This is exactly what I wanted to tell you. To tell you, walk in as a stranger, but they want others also to like, let's sing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I could experience it, right? But how do you take it to that level?
It's all the fun of community. How it's also that some humans such as myself, I prefer to be solitary. I don't want to be mingling with people here and there every now and then. But when you come there as strangers. But I try to create a single purpose for all of them to carry from that session. That is first step is definitely to carry that joy and have that memory of singing along with people. And sound heals. And any basic element of earth, be it soil as in food, any earthy material, sound is the element that is in between these elements. And I believe that any sound used in a proper manner can be therapeutic. And vocal bonding exercises, it's again like a black magic. It just works uniting people in one voice. So when they unite, warm-up is extremely crucial. If I carried the same songs without the warm-up, you would go with a very bad day. Because in the very beginning, you are compelled to use sentences, words as a part of the song, and you see that people are pronouncing it differently. You don't feel belonged. But if you noticed, warm-ups do not have any words in them. It's just sounds. So when they produce that sounds in unity, that's called unison in musical terms, where everybody sings the same thing, they bond. And when that happens, you already feel belonged in that group. So when you feel belonged, it's not equal to you being at home with your parents, being completely yourself, but you achieve the major fraction of it where you're at least able to express yourself, if not be yourself. So that is achieved by warm-up, and anybody would love to sing. So you can see some people dancing. So there are varieties of people. I'll be noticing all of that sitting in the session. There'll be still people who are like, they're singing like this. They're singing the loudest songs like this. So that's why I keep interrupting them in the middle, and I keep saying, you've come from so far, you don't have to sit like when Gaurama and sing. That's why I keep saying that. But again, though they're sitting like that from the outside, I know what's happening on the inside. There is that smile. There
is inhibitions, right? This is what I wanted to tell. Yes. That from because it's very amazing when you actually look. You're a singer, right?
Yes.
You are used to singing. So for a person who has been consistently not used to singing, right, there is a huge amount of inhibitions that comes in. So it's amazing that you can put somebody in that comfort zone, right, and then actually open it up.
True. I think it goes back to why I came up with Swarapaana when you bring that up. I think the term singer is overrated. What do you mean by a singer? Just because you work, does it mean you're a walker? A walker is a different thing. So this thing bugged me, though it makes sense why it is labeled that way in societies. Sometimes I thought to myself, what if the term singing was never existing? So person who heals, who treats wounds, they're called doctors. So just because a person is singing, does it make them a singer? Or if their profession and passion is both singing, do you call them a singer? Who do you call a singer? If you call me a singer, I genuinely do not identify myself as a singer. That terminology itself in society created that unhealthy competition in the industry and society of music, I would say, because I'm very, very sure, though I was not born a few hundred years ago, I'm very sure why music was invented and how it was invented. You don't even have to dig back into history for that. Though I did, the first instrument that was created was a flute that's some 4,000 years old. So people understood sounds. Again, I fall back to the same concept of sound being used in a modified way. Anything that is structured like sound in an understandable mathematical sequence sounds like a music. And that music was invented, and singing was invented, and then instruments was invented. And all of a sudden, like any other thing would have entered into, even music ended up being competitive. Now everybody is praising Shreya Ghoshal, Arjit Singh. No wonders, they're amazing singers, terrific singers. But there are some amazing singers in unlabeled bands, unknown cities. They don't even know their potential, because I also came across this term called as the difference between a popular singer and a talented singer. That's very, very different. Again, now that we have that term called as singer, we have all of these new things that are popping up in the internet now. And one of the interviews that I saw of Cardi B, she says she's a rapper. I'm not into rap, by the way. I just came across in my Instagram feed, and she says there are popular singers and there are talented singers. She admits, because she is one of the most popular musicians in the world and she has received a lot of awards. So why I want to come at that is, so when people, nowadays in social media, you get everything and anything right at your fingertips. And when you're seeing constantly that there's so much competition in music, you treat that as an industry.
Mm-hmm.
You treat that as...
Which you think it is not?
Which I think it is not. It shouldn't be. People are it is not an industry on its own. For example, food became an industry because it is a need. And food industry, though there are competitive restaurants, as far as it meets your needs, it fuels your body, you're fine with it. You don't have to do fine dining always. Why doesn't that apply everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my logic. If you want the healthiest food, we don't care so much about healthy food. There is biomagnification. You will be poisoned in one or the other way. So that will happen. But people don't care about that because it is a very basic need. But music is not. It was, but it is not. So the music lovers that I'm accumulating every day, I'm studying the statistics as well. How many people turn up to multiple sessions? How many are just one-timers? I am seeing their behavior pattern, and by that I am able to analyze.
Can you throw some statistics around?
We have about 10% retention every bi-monthly cycle. So what that means is, so we do bi-monthly registrations where they purchase that subscription for 2 months and they are told to have 8 sessions, and it's not mandatory for them. We don't have attendance like music schools and everything. So they come around, that statistics is around 48%, 50%. So they attend at least 4 of the 8 sessions. So there are some people who have
attended
all the
100 people,
100%.
if there are 100 people, 50 people
turn around every time. So that's the statistics. And the retention, when I talk about the next cycle, resubscribing to the same plan, that is around 10%. So what did I study? I tried to read between the lines, and I thought people are getting saturated. And then I was like, I named it Swarapaana because Pana is again an addiction. And
that is Swarapaana, but
yeah.
but do you believe that addiction is not natural?